Gunline. Fire mission coming down, y'all. I'm your host, Lopez, and you're listening to the On the Gunline podcast, where we shoot the shit like we did in the past. So if you're wondering, who is this person on the web with me today? Yes, believe it or not, a female on the line today. And check it out, y'all. She's not one that thinks I'm a moron yet, or that I'm an idiot, though. I'm very happy that she decided to come on here. I invited her probably about a week ago, I think, or sometime this week to come on, and she accepted. So on the gun line here with us today, we have Monica, who is a prior service sailor. We're not going to hold that against you. I don't know if you're a sailor who, well, you know what? I'm not even going to go with those jokes already. So, but anyway, thank you for being here, Monica. Welcome to the gun line. How are you doing? Thank you for
having me. I am so excited, like beyond excited. A long time, well, not that long time ago, but I thought about doing podcasting, and it just so much shit happens in life that you just kind of, forget about it. And this is why I was so excited. And I was like, me and you like clicked right away. So I'm like, man, this is awesome. I cannot wait. So thank you so much for having me.
Dude, I am glad to have you here. So for those, we met through, let's just say, what's the word? Professional measures. All right. And so we have, and I'm not talking about professional dating sites like Tinder or Bumble. All right. No. But once I found out that she had a military fucking history, I had to ask, where she was at. I mean, not where she was at, but what her military past was. And it turns out not only that that we share a military relationship or something in common with the military, but she was also a dental assistant, right?
Yes, the dental assistant. I've been in the dental world for 11 years before doing what I do now.
That's fucking awesome, dude. You know what's crazy is a lot of people don't believe me when I say this, but I used to be a fucking dental assistant before I joined the Army. And they wanted to bring me in as a dental assistant. They called it a dental specialist. They were going to bring me in as an E4. And they told me all the good stuff about it. And I was like, no, I want to blow shit up. You know what I mean?
Complete opposite. I went to dental assisting school after the Navy. One of my friends, we were in the middle of deployment. She's like, we know you're about to get out. What are you going to do? One of my friends, smart ass, she's like, you're always looking at people's teeth. Go be a hygienist. Mm-hmm. I was like, you know what? That's true.
Wow, so you have an infatuation with teeth now, huh?
No, I mean, not an infatuation, but I'm like, if you have missing teeth, I don't
know. You know what? That's like me and toes, but that's for another podcast. So,
let's get to know each other first, and then we'll get to the
toes. That's what I'm talking about, girl. That's what I'm talking about. So, tell us about yourself. What's your history? Where are you from?
So I am originally from LA. I was born there. I'm South Central. My brothers, my family, we're all from LA, born in El General. Everybody's family was probably born there. Yep. My mom, my dad are both from Mexico. They're from Durango, Mexico. So, we were both born here and, moved to Arizona. That's where I went to high school, and that's where I joined the military. So.
Okay. So with that, do you have any military background as far as like your family goes? Any military history, say grandparents, uncles, parents, nada?
Nope, I was the first one. I'm not the only one anymore, but I was the first one in my whole entire immediate family, and even like cousins and tios and tias, and there's a shit ton of those in the Mexican families.
Right.
So my mom would always tell my brothers and sisters, like, "Ándale, huevones, al rato va a venir Mónica and she's gonna fuck you up." I'm like, well, I still can, but I won't unless you make me.
I gotcha. So let's see. What okay, are you the oldest, middle, or youngest?
I'm in the middle. So I have 7 siblings.
Fucking Mexicans.
I love you. I would have gone crazy a long time ago, but I have an oldest sister, 2 older brothers, then it's me, and then 2 little brothers and 2 little sisters.
Oh, you were for sure the forgotten one then.
For reals. Like, I was right smack in the middle, surrounded by boys, so I had to be a tomboy, and I didn't take no shit from either side.
There you go. That's what's up. So how did you get interested in the military? Was it a recruiter that came to the fucking school, or what ended up getting your or piquing your interest?
So I bullshit you not, and I know there's some people already out there that know this. So because I told I told everybody to come listen to you. So
I appreciate that.
I knew I wanted to be in the military since I was 7. I don't know what it was. I might have been watching one of those commercials, gung ho commercials that they make. And I don't know what it was. I knew since I was 7, I wanted to be in the military. I remember reaching out to a military. I just, when computers were barely coming out, I kind of just sent her my information. I had a recruiter come by when I was like 13. My mom's like, ¿Qué hiciste, Monica? I was like, Mom, I don't know. And they're like, oh, you're still too young and you graduated from high school, blah, blah. I think it actually was originally a named recruiter, as a matter of fact. And that was just my plan. That's how I was going to escape my reality. I mean, I grew up with nothing. We were poor. My mom was mostly a single mom my whole life. Okay. And lived in the PJs and the projects, so definitely ghetto. Straight ghetto-ness. That gangster in that ghetto can come out real quick when it needs to, but I try to keep it down. And that was how I was going to get out of that reality and make my life better, not just for myself, but for like my family as well. So that's where I saw that opportunity.
Right on. And so was the Navy like always the direction you wanted to go, or were there any other branches that you think about, the Air Force, Marine Corps, the Army?
So I went to junior high, all that good stuff with all my same friends. They all went to the same high school, but I knew they didn't have a JROTC program where all my friends went. So I had to go to a different high school, and they only had an Army JROTC. So go Army. I did do 4 years. And this is, no offense to anybody now, this is before JROTC was pussy. I'm sure they have so many restrictions right now. We got to do all that fun shit. We had a rifle team. We had rappelling, a ranger team, and all that fun, real shit. I mean, obviously not as real as actually being in the Army, but we actually got to go to like Fort Worth and do some shit there. And I don't know what it was when it came down to, I didn't want to do Army. I don't know why. I really don't know why. It didn't feel right. And when I went to the Marines office, that shit didn't feel right. Something said Navy, and I went and talked to the Navy recruiter, and it just felt right.
Right on. So what year did you join?
In 05. Well, 04, but I was 17 and all that mess. So I had to wait until I graduated high school. So I was 05.
Jesus fucking Christ, did you just make me feel old? Fucking hey. 05, you were 18? God damn.
I'm glad you feel older, not me.
Fool. You know what? Let's just say I was born in 77. All right, so yeah, I'm an old fuck. But damn, I look good. Anyways, with that said, all right, so you ended up fucking joining the Navy. Go Navy. You took your ASVAB. How do you go about selecting your jobs? Like, how did you know what you wanted to do, or did you have an idea what you wanted to do when you got in the Navy? Because I mean, like, what did you do in the Navy?
So I came in as undesignated because I could not make up my fucking mind. Like literally, I had so many options. I really didn't know what I wanted to do. So I came in as undesignated. No, I don't recommend that shit for nobody. Just putting it out there. Most of the time, people go bosun's mates. Nothing against bosun's mates, but that shit is a hard fucking life. It's so true when they say choose your rate, choose your fate, especially on a ship or anywhere else, I'm sure.
I want to say something. I just heard that phrase recently, because I got a buddy named Adam. He has the Average GI Joe podcast. He's a sailor, and he did Tomahawk shit. And I heard them talking on one of his sea stories or whatever, one of his podcasts that he has. He does a couple, but are they under the same Average GI Joe podcast? But anyways, I heard them say, choose your rate, choose your fate. So I'm guessing choosing your rate is like choosing your MOS for us.
Yes, it's choosing your job. And I don't know if other branches have an undesignated, so you really don't have one. So they let you kind of feel it out. They're supposed to let you feel it out when you get out in the field. We all know how that fucking goes.
Right.
But luckily enough, because I joined when I was 17, I actually was one of the lucky ones that went shore duty first instead of sea duty. So I was at Camp Pendleton, ACU5, working on LCACs. So I got to actually do different rate jobs. I got to do GSE stuff, GS, which is like, gas turbine mechanical, gas turbine electrician. And then I got to do some OS stuff, which is an operations specialist. And that's where I went. Now, did I know anything about being an operations specialist or radars or navigation or communications? Hell no. But I heard when you take your test, it's like almost 100% guaranteed you're going to go up in rate. So therefore you get the money. You know what I'm saying? So
Wow.
I took my test. I passed both. I came in as an E3. I took my test 6 months later, passed to E4. And I think, what was it, like a year after that, took a test again, and I was an E5 without even setting foot on a ship. So,
wow. So I don't know if that's a big deal to y'all sailors out there, but I mean, shit, shouldn't you be on a fucking boat, to earn your stripes and shit?
It's a small hovercraft. I did do some work on them. I got to do some shadowing,
I guess.
But then that's why they kicked my ass out of there and said, now you got to go to the real Navy. I was like, Roger that.
Oh, well, we'll get to that here in a second. Let me know your basic training, your boot camp experience. So I know you guys go to fucking Great Lakes, Illinois, right?
Great Lakes, Illinois.
Right out of Chicago, right?
Oh yeah. So I got there obviously in August, right
nice
after
and
boot.
hot.
It was hot, humid, nasty, and then some ish happening when I was in boot camp. So I kind of had to do it twice, but it was boring. It was really, to be 1000% honest, the hardest part about boot camp for me was being away from my family and being around other females that just can't control themselves or their emotions, or I don't know what the fuck they thought they were signing up for. Right. But that really, I didn't know how to process that. Like, dude, just stop fucking crying.
Right.
What did you think this was going to be? Obviously, I don't know if maybe me being in Army Jersey had anything to do with that, and being around, just more tough people. I really don't know, but that was the hardest part. When you're, I mean, you do a little bit of firing guns. Now, this is back in 05. I really don't know what it's like now, but it's definitely all mental. You're when you're sitting there at some point shining your boots and ironing your underwear, you're like, fuck, I wish I would have joined the Army because I would have been blowing something up right now. That kind of just tells you how boring it was for me anyway.
Well, let me assure you that we do the same stupid shit and get bored too. All right. You only can do so much training, and then you're out there on the fucking bleachers on the drill pad, shining your fucking boots, wondering why didn't I join the fucking Air Force? You know what I'm saying? I'd be getting served by a waiter right now. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sure.
What do you think? What experiences do you remember out of the like? Did they meet your expectations? Like for me, for example, I went in expecting the mind games, the fuck games. I went in there expecting that. I went in there expecting some physicalness from, our drill sergeants. I knew that was to be expected, but I expected it to be more along the lines of like the Full Metal Jacket, because that's the movie I grew up on. My brothers, I had brothers that were prior service. So I had two brothers in the Marine Corps, one brother in the Army. So, they all kind of like, I kind of followed in their footsteps. You know what I'm saying? And Marine Corps apparently wouldn't take me because I only had a GED. Go fucking figure. Those crayon eating motherfuckers wouldn't take me because of that. Yeah. So
that is very shocking.
Trust me, I know, motherfuckers. They try to send me to college for a semester. And I'm like, dude, I want to be a tanker. What the fuck do I need college for? You know what I mean? But that's nor here nor there. One of the expectations for me, for example, that basic training or boot camp was very memorable. One of the experiences was the gas chamber. That's one that I think all branches go through. Yeah. And similarly, you pretty much choke and wish you were dead. That's the one that stands out the most to me. What times stand out the most to you from your time in basic or boot?
Gas chamber was definitely one of the hardest things. Everything else physically wise, it was pretty fine. I didn't really have any issues with it, but it was definitely that gas chamber. And I'm just really thinking like Why is everybody thinking this is so hard? Just do what you're told. Don't look like a shitbag, and you'll be fine.
You know what's funny? Go ahead. No, porque my niece, she went through Navy Basic or Navy boot camp, and she said the same thing you're saying right now. She said that she would be laughing at some of these bitches that would be crying when they're doing
Yes.
push-ups and exercise, and they'd be in tears. And she's like, "Why are y'all crying?" And she'd just be laughing at them. You know,
like I said, I don't know if it's some people's upbringings or whatever. I really don't know what expectations other people had,
right?
But it wasn't. You weren't gonna go to a party. You weren't going. It wasn't gonna be a complete cakewalk. It wasn't going. It was going to be hard. It's boot camp. I mean, like I said, from the most people, it should be hard.
Yes.
It's probably the first time they're away from their families and stuff, and you're on your own. But that, like I said, the mental part of it, being away from my mom and everything, that, and my sisters and my brothers, that was the hardest part for me. Other than that, it's very, very simple to be in the military. It's do what you're told, don't be a shitbag, and that's really it. They're not going to put your life in danger.
Right, dude. I mean, the easiest thing to do is be in the Army. Do what you're told. Do what you're told. God damn it, just do what you're told. That's it. Right place, right time, right uniform. Done. That's all you got to do.
That's
I never understood how, some people could still fuck that up. And if you ever start listening to any of the old podcasts, there's a recurring theme of a person called Freeman that we talk a lot about, because he was the epitome of what a shitbag is. This motherfucker he was just a complete jackass. And anyways, that's another story for another day. Pero, so your experience in boot camp, any challenges that you faced? I mean, obviously, because being a female is a big thing. In the military, I guess, I don't know if you experienced anything in basic or boot camp that were placed upon you because you were of the female gender, or I don't know what you identify as nowadays. Everybody's got like fucking 20,000 different ones. So
I'm pretty traditional, independent traditional, is what I call myself. So yes, I'm a her, I'm a me, I'm a girl, I'm a woman, Right. Whoever wants to identify as a rock, go ahead.
Or rails.
But no, actually, I didn't ever, at least not like in boot camp, I didn't experience any kind of like any bad experience, like any kind of harassment or any kind of like, oh, let's take it easier on the girls type thing. No, fuck no. Like, you're doing the same shit as everybody else, like the guys, things like that. I don't care how much other little girls want crying,
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, you're expected to do a certain amount of work. That's what you're going to do, and that's it. And I mean, I would never felt uncomfortable unless, obviously just the regular physical shit, doing all that, not a whole lot of running, but you know what? I'm not gonna lie. The worst part was when I was in boot camp, they said, okay, your first P days to do all your medical shit. Next thing you know, they're like, oh, you have a dental appointment. I was like, oh, cool, awesome. I love going to the dentist because I'm a fucking weirdo like that. And then I walk over to dental. And then next thing I know, I'm laying back in the chair and they start shooting me up. I'm like, wait, what are we doing? I thought it was like, oh, we're taking all 4 of your wisdom teeth out. I was like, what? Oh, shit. Here, take this pill. I was like, okay. Next thing I wake up and look like a chipmunk. And that was actually the most painful part.
Wow. Dude, I had all 4 of mine pulled out as well, but I was on my way almost out of the Army. Luckily, all my wisdoms actually came out. I had enough space for them, so I they weren't impacted. They were out.
Mine were all impacted.
Oh, fuck that! And they took all 4 of them out. Damn, they must have given you some great fucking drugs afterwards, huh?
Whatever they gave me, I just said, Roger, took it, and I was good.
Right on. Now, did you end up going to where you wanted to go after boot camp? Like, for example, me, I wanted to go to Germany. That was like my wish list was Germany. That for overseas, Germany and Hawaii. Obviously, everybody wants Hawaii, and I think Italy was up there. And then you have your choices out here in the States. Well, in the field artillery world, we don't have a lot of places we can go to. You know what I mean? So I ended up getting stuck at Fort fucking Hood for my first duty station. And so you said, well, let's talk about graduation. How did you feel after graduating? Like when you got to graduation, you graduated. Like, I mean, Was that like a highlight of your life in your moment, or?
It was actually really, really awesome. I did tear up. I was very proud of myself for getting through that, even though it was easy. It's still a proud moment, you know, it's a big achievement in your life, in anybody's life, no matter how easy or hard, you know,
Right.
not everybody makes the conscious decision to serve their country. And that's really what I felt like at that graduation, especially. Like, I made the decision, I got sworn in. That's one of the first time I felt that way. I was super proud to serve my country, to make, you know, the country better for the other generations. And then when I graduated boot camp, that was another time where I really felt that way. I was like super proud. I've always been a patriot of sorts, or I am a patriot, I should say. And I felt really, really proud, not only of being Mexican American, but to serve the country that's given, you know, more opportunities than any other country out there. So that was definitely a super proud moment. My mom, none of my family was able to come out there, but either way, it was still really, really proud moment. And then
Wow.
you
None of your
go
family was able to
to
make it there?
no.
Ah, damn, that's fucked up. Damn, now that makes me want to get emotional right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, you know, after all that hard work and accomplishment, no, seriously, it's like it's a big deal, you know. Especially like I think of it, a lot of folks, especially from like our backgrounds, shit, we barely finished high school. You know what I mean? Let alone go to college and graduate that shit. So another avenue is the military, you know, and to me, I felt the same way once I graduated. Well, we had OSUT. It's a whole different story, but I felt proud of it, you know, and I do feel, I fucking hate that. I hate saying that word, fucking feel. Anyway, I do feel emotionally attached to that patriotism and, you know, as an American, I think it's my duty to, you know, serve my country. So I, you know, I applaud that, you know, that you felt that same selflessness, selfless service, as we say in the Army, you know, to serve your country, man. I mean, granted, it's the Navy, but still, you know, somebody's got to do something. So somebody's got to fucking gas up the boats, I guess. But oh no, right on. So you graduated out of boot camp. Tell me what, I'm sure you guys get, well, where you end up going to Camp Pendleton, you said, or?
Yeah, so I did my my undesignated training there in Great Lakes. That's where they have, you know, the seamen undesignated training. So I was there from August to December. So I got to see snow for the very first time there by myself around Thanksgiving-ish time. I cried. I called my mom and like, "¿Por qué lloras? Está nevando afuera." I'm like, it's snowing outside, Mom. It's the first time I've ever seen snow drop. Or anyways, and then when they do have us choose like 3 top picks, and I just wanted to stay as close to home as I could. So I knew a couple of them. I just put California. I put, I think, I don't know, whatever other states are nearby that they had a station there. I can't even remember all the decisions, but obviously California was my first choice. And that's where I got to go, thankfully. Oceanside and then San Diego, and that's where I was the entire time.
No shit.
Yeah.
So your whole time in the Navy, you spent it in San Diego?
Well, Oceanside 2 years and then San Diego for 3 years. Obviously deployed when I was on the ship in San Diego, but yeah, I got to stay close by to home.
When really deployed, I mean, you were on a boat. No, I'm just fucking with you.
That was deployment. You know what? It really is what you make it. No bullshit. And that's any deployment, I think. Obviously, your guys' deployments are different than ours, and on Army, Marines, Navy, or Air Force, because you guys are boots on ground. That's, you know, that's hard.
That's all good. Like you said, we choose our rate, we choose our fate, right? So that's awesome, though. So you got to go to Cali. You were in San Diego. Fucking San Diego. I used to go party in TJ like a motherfucker back.
Dude, those were the days because I was underage. I was like, fuck it, let's go to TJ. So I'm Mexican. I mean, I got friends, you know, there, and not in TJ, but like, you know, when I made friends at my TV station.
Don't lie, fool. All your cousins are right there too.
I'm like, hey, let me use your birth certificate. Let me go back with you. Like, oh,
for real.
You're gonna get my military ID taken away. You crazy.
For real. Oh shit.
But yeah, that was, I'm not gonna lie, we would go to TJ party every once in a while because it was legal there. Come back, as long as you're back on time for watch, you're good.
Right on, dude. Tell me about your first duty station. How did you what did you think of it? Like, I mean, that's when you start, I guess, the real military life for y'all, real Navy life. For example, for me in the Army, You know, to me, I didn't join the army till I got to my first unit. That's where I got to experience the real army. And I still remember when I got off my fucking flight there in Killeen, and they could tell that we were the fucking fresh, little boots coming out of fucking basic training because we're in our fucking class A's, our dress uniform, and you have your little fucking gay pride ribbon and your fucking National Defense Service medal ribbon. And and GWAT and fucking, so they know, and you have no rank and nothing else. So they knew we were privates. And they were like, hey, you guys are gonna, welcome to Fort Hood or whatnot. Some soldiers that were getting ready to go on leave. And I was like, what's it gonna be like? I was like, oh, don't worry, man. Your buddies, your battles, as they call them, your battles take care of you when you get there. To me, coming from the streets, you tell me your battles will take care of you. I'm thinking, fuck, I'm gonna be fighting motherfuckers day one. You know what I mean? So I'm like thinking we're gonna be boxing because you hear somebody say they're gonna take care of you. Like, you're gonna take care of me? Oh,
they're gonna take care of you.
Yeah, dude. But no, he actually meant it in the white way, I guess, the right way. Like, they're gonna take care of you, make sure you're all right. You know,
scrap. All right.
But that's when I started getting my real experience and exposure to the military culture and life. So I mean, is that when you got to San Diego and did your, got to your first unit, what were your initial thoughts like?
So we flew in you did fly into to San Diego, and then you took that hour drive to San Diego from San Diego airport to Oceanside, and it was dark. So it was a little weird because you have to go check into your barracks and then get your room, and you kind of feel a little alone because you're not meeting your unit. You're just getting settled into your own little spot in your own room or whatnot, and you feel a little lonely at first. Obviously, thank goodness for cell phones, and obviously technology has blown up since then, but I was able to call my mom and things like that just to let her know I made it. So she would always, my mom's my rock. She's my everything. I'm a big old mama's girl. So, whenever I did feel any sadness or loneliness or anything like that, she would that's bien. You're just do what they told you, and they'll take it. Just you know what you're supposed to do, so just do it. And I'm like, okay, mom, thanks.
Right, that's
and
awesome.
Then, so yeah, I mean, it was a scary moment because it's a brand new place, brand new people, but it was still exciting at the same time, just because you're like, all right, what the fuck did I get myself into, really? Right. What the fuck am I gonna do tomorrow?
Now, when you got there, did you get there with a group of other people in a group of you? Like, was it a group of you showing up at one time, or did you go there individually and show up into your reception center?
Yeah, so for us, I was the only one that showed up that night, and there was a couple of other girls that showed up, but they staggered. So there was somebody else that got there 2 days before, somebody came after me. So it wasn't like a whole group or herd of you and you could just follow each other and you'll be okay. It was just very individualized, at least in that duty station.
Okay, right on. And what was day one like in the Navy for you?
A lot of fucking paperwork and checking in lists, go meet this person, go meet that person, this person's gonna be in charge of you. So it was a lot of running around.
Checking a bunch of blocks, right?
Yes,
so getting in processed.
Your check-in list. Oh God. And then you get your in doc, and this is your schedule, this is when you have duty, and it was just a lot of information. But
rewind. What do you mean this is your schedule? Explain that to me. Your schedule should be the same as I think everybody. Wake up at 06 PT, go to work at 09, lunch at 11:30, and end the day at 1700.
But you didn't get to your you didn't get together with the rest of your people until 7. So you pretty much had that whole morning to figure out to catch the bus, get there, because I didn't have a car obviously at the time. Gotcha. So I couldn't drive myself to the actual ACU5 compound. So the barracks are off further away, and it's you get together with your unit, but not until later on that day or that morning. And then that's when all y'all do shit together.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure it in my head. I'm trying to put myself in your shoes as you're walking me through it. And I mean, I just probably be where the fuck am I supposed to go? Why is there not an NCO guiding me, telling me, hey, private, go over here, go get this done? Or a seaman, I guess what they call y'all. I don't know what they say. Hey, sailor.
Yeah, that wasn't until like you got to the compound, you go to your actual like where all your workstation is, and then everybody goes out to the flight line or whatever you want to call it. I think that's what it was called back then. God, it's been so long ago now. But and then just kind of go from there, and that's where they task you with shit. We did a lot of painting.
Really?
Did a
Dude,
lot of painting, a lot of fog
what?
walk.
Okay, so funny you mentioned that. Again, on that one podcast I was saying with my homeboy Adam, he talks about a lot of, I remember not him alone, because there's like a group of them that talk. They were talking about like, I guess rust. There's a lot of rust that has to get taken care of and a lot of painting. So, I mean, fuck, is that what the sailors do all day? I mean,
So when you get into the real Navy on a ship, then yes, that's when you have, you know, the 1MC comes on, reveille, everybody wake your asses up. So this is Camp Pendleton, like I said, that's like, it kind of seems like a whole different world compared to the actual Navy when you're on a ship. Because when you're on a ship, you report to your ship, you get on that brow, you go up, you even request permission to come on board to the officer of the deck, all that like real Navy shit, you know what I mean? That's when I went to the USS Preble, Mighty P. That's real Navy right there, pretty much. Yeah. So
now I gotta ask this. I'm sorry to cut you off. Now, is there, okay, so for example, in the Army, we have there's motherfuckers that are mechanized and motherfuckers that are pretty much towed in artillery. We look at mechanized artillery kind of like you're kind of like not real artillery, because you know you're in tracks and you're not really doing the real work as an artilleryman would, or kind of like the airborne thinks they're the shit because they jump out of airplanes. So what I'm saying is the motherfuckers that spend most of their time on the boat, do they look at y'all who spend most of your time on land, look at y'all in a lesser form, like y'all ain't real sailors because y'all ain't experienced, you know, being salty out there? I don't know, I'm just trying to
pretty much. So you're not part of the ship's company when you're on LCAX and AC5 and unit, or even like the aircraft, the air units or the air wing or whatever. You're not part of ship's company, so you're not really, you know, part of the ship unless, you know, some shit really goes down. But other than that, like when it comes to certain things, like you don't do the sweepers, you just stick with your own group when you're going deployments with LCAX and, you know, the air wings and I can't remember which other ones they just kind of do themselves. But when you're on an actual ship, you're part of ship company. Like you get reveille, you wake your asses up, you go do your you check in, attendance, and then you do go through your whole entire POV, like your plan of the day. And then this is where you're gonna do training, you're gonna do sweepers, and this is when you have your watch, and that's
what
when
are sweepers?
You get real familiar with the broom.
See, that's what I was told to call you, was to call you a sweeper. Something, let's see, operation specialists are the ones that plot and help navigate. If you want a clowner, call her a professional sweeper. Because that's all they do on the ship when they aren't out to sea.
Yes, our job is when we're out underway on that water. When we're in port, you know, you can't really, unless you're doing testing, you can't turn on a radar. You can't watch out for ships and shit. Everybody's smart. So,
right.
So our real job is when we're out to sea, and when
Right
we're
on.
moored in port, you know, yeah, ain't shit for us to do. So for some keyways.
Hey, it's called busy work. You know, you get
it's busy work for
and
sure.
You know what?
And
that's something we have in common, because on the gun line, oh well, in the field artillery, a lot of people in the fucking Army, any MOS, pretty much, our fucking day of work is always going to be at the motor pool. All right, that's where we start our day. That's where we ended our day, and we got very, very comfortable with that motherfucking push broom. Like we were fucking skilled with that bad boy. You could eat off the fucking floor after we got done.
Right?
Shit, professional sweepers.
That's gonna be my shit. Like you better believe this P-way right here is gonna be the cleanest one. You're not gonna see no dust bunnies over here.
That's what's up. Oh my gosh. So you had to do that for 2 years, you said?
3 for LCAX is 2, and then actual Navy shit 3. Yeah.
So tell me about when you first. Okay, so my homeboy was on, what the fuck boat did he say he was? Oh, sorry, not boat, ship, whatever. The fucking
ship,
yeah, he was on the fuck did he call it, dude? It's got a weird name, huh?
Was it a destroyer? Was it an amphib? Was it a aircraft carrier?
It wasn't a carrier. I know that.
Okay.
Was it did he call it no, it's not
A
more.
frigate.
No, I'm trying to remember the name of the boat that he's on. I want to say there's a D in it and there's an M in it, but I can't remember what it is. God damn, it's bugging me. But anyways, go ahead. Tell me about, when you actually got to be in the real Navy.
In the real Navy, yeah. You, like I said, you legit have to ask permission to come on board when you go up that brow. Legit, there's a petty officer of the watch. There's
What's the brow?
So that's when you go up and you're like right there, and there's like, you'll see a tent, they have the bell there. That's where everybody comes on board. There's a podium. That's like pretty much like, the front of the ship where you come in, you enter the ship that way.
Okay.
So that's the entrance to the ship, more or less. That's where the brow is, or
Okay.
wherever they, yeah. And you legit ask permission to come on board, and they have to say yes or no. Depending.
Shut up, for real? No, but they don't do that like on individuals, right? I mean, it's not like really they do that shit.
You have to I did it every time. You face the flag, salute, request permission to come on board. You know what I mean?
Wow.
If there's a gang of us coming, you are going to salute that flag. You're gonna, even if it's real quick, got permission to come on board. And when you leave, you salute that flag and you walk off the ship. Absolutely.
I'll tell you what, that's one thing I do admire about the Navy. They do have a lot of traditions. So I really dig that. And so what was the name of the ship you were on, or boat or whatever?
I was on a DDG, so it's a destroyer. It's a little guy. I mean, I think top is like 350 and like a full crew.
See, that's what he was saying he was on, something like that. But
yeah, so it's a small boy. We would call them small boys, because an amphib and obviously carriers, those are like their own fucking city. There's no way I would ever be on a carrier, or would have been on one. Hell no, that's too much for me. 300 people is considered a small boy. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody knows everybody's business.
Wow, that sounds like there's some stories there.
Tons. There's always these stories. Always. Stories. On deployments, come on. You should know that. Deployments, that's the only people you have around you. It's 24/7. Of course, it's gonna be stories and gossip and rumors.
Right.
So yeah, it was a lot of fun though, because it has a lot of everything. You got because I worked, so OSS work in CIC. So that's where all the action happens, all the information comes in. So that's what it's for, Command Information Center. And you have a side for surface, which is like the ships, and then you have a side for air, and then you have sometimes they have subs, sub stuff down there. So submarine stuff.
Okay, gotcha.
So everything goes through there. And I mean, that's where we were. And the nice thing, why people say you choose your fate like a bosun's mate, your ass is working whether you're in port or underway. OSs, we only work in port when we're underway, but it's always air conditioned because it's we're spoiled. You have all those computers in there, you have everything in there, so it has to be air conditioned to the max. Besides working in an engine room, that's just fucking hot. So we're over there with jackets on and shit because it gets so cold, so we're always indoors, we're not outside.
Wow, you sound like you really had like a really hard job there in the Navy.
It was
the struggle was real for you.
The struggle,
holy shit,
real.
Trying to keep the coffee so hot with that air conditioner blasting must have been a struggle.
My cup of noodles, it was my mother's time. That shit was fucking hard. Like, damn, I'm trying to eat this motherfucker before it gets cold.
That's fucking funny now, dude. So you got in, you said in 0405, and you ended up getting out then around like 2010. Did you ever deploy like out towards where the action was over there in the Middle East?
Yeah. So my very first deployment, I met the ship while it was halfway through its deployment. They were in Dubai. So I was supposed to meet them in Bahrain when they were pulled in port, but they had to skedaddle. So I missed that shot because that's a long flight from San Diego to the Middle East.
Yeah, yes, it is. Yes,
So
it
that was
is.
literally one of my longest flights ever. I think somehow I was able to sleep through most of it. I don't know how, but I did. And then when I finally met them in Dubai, the thing about being on a ship in the Middle East is you just don't know if that little small fishing boat is just a fishing boat. Like that's our biggest thing. It's like, where is this boat going? That's our biggest threat besides, air and stuff. But
Right.
that's all through radars and everything. So it's definitely a different type of threat than when you're boots on ground.
Gotcha.
That's my hats off to anybody that ever had to go boots on ground. Luckily, thankfully, I didn't have to do that. Our deployments are definitely a lot different. It's stressful because you got all these fucking little boats around you have to be aware of. But yeah.
So I had to look it up, and I want to say it was the Donald Cook that my homeboy was on.
Okay.
So that's the little ship that he was on, or boat, whatever the fuck y'all call them little things. The little taxis, those little sea taxis, yo. But right on, man. So I mean,
Dude,
did you get to
no joke.
did you get to do your job like in real world scenarios, or?
Yeah, I mean, when you're out to sea, that's real world. You're like watching for all these ships, all these boats, all these little fishing boats around you, all these other ships around you that may not be part of your fleet. It might be part of your fleet. You just gotta watch out on who it is. Eventually, once I got into like a specialty, I was a geeks. And don't ask me what the fuck geek stands for, because I can't remember to save my life right now.
Oh, I thought you meant like a geek, like a fucking. No. I mean, I get you wear glasses. I mean, but damn.
No, that's an actual system. It's a specialty that you can get into, and you can use. It's not a very. People don't think you can use it for a whole lot, but one of the coolest things I had to get a top secret clearance is
nice.
You can actually plan paths for tomahawks through that system. So it's part of the planning of the path of a tomahawk. Gotcha. You close the black curtain, you can't be in there, nobody except for the people that are designated to be in there and have clearance. So it's like that was, we didn't get to do that real world. We did obviously training and scenarios, right? But thankfully, unfortunately, we never got to shoot an actual tomahawk for realsies.
Oh, dale. But at least you got to train for it. I bet. That's one thing I did ask Adam, like, was he able to, to fire that? Because that's what he did, you know what I'm saying?
He was an FC probably. That's who the OSs and the FCs work together to plan all that and get it out. Well, right besides on. Like the gunners and everything down there, but
right on. I mean, I think that's exciting, honestly. It shows how everything works together, you know what I mean? So he would be more like the gun bunny, which is what I am, and you would be more like the FDC, the Fire Direction Center, which is our nerds. They're the ones that do all the math, and they get their little charts and darts and tell us, okay, make sure you point your cannon this way.
Point it this way.
Yeah. So the boom goes that way, okay?
That's right.
Put this much powder in there to make the projectile reach its destination at this angle. But no, that's awesome, man. That sounds really fucking cool. I mean, anytime I think about Navy commercials, I always see like the commercials of the people like in those dark rooms with the fucking, radars going in circles and they're all sweating balls. And I'm just thinking like, man, I can't see myself doing that, just staring at a screen. And I mean, I don't know. I think I would have to be something more like in a submarine atmosphere, but unfortunately, I'd probably go crazy down there.
Like, I think it'd be too quiet for you. I don't think it'd be quiet enough.
Yeah, I need my quiet time for a show. Then I wonder about Jack Shacks. Anyways, that's more for a male counterpart. So, tell me, how are the friendships on a boat? Like, especially like without revealing too much, obviously. I mean, I'm not trying to tap dance around it because you're a female and shit like that.
Into the juicy shit.
But I'm just saying, okay, I'm gonna talk to you like if I was talking to another male on the fucking boat, like in the Navy, right? So check it. How much fucking is going on a boat? Okay, that tells me there's a lot.
Get in it. I mean, you're stuck on a ship for average 6 months at a time. Shit, there's been deployments longer than that. 9 months. I think my husband did a 9-month one before me and him ever met. But that's the only people you see. That's who you spend your life with. that your friendships are friendships. I still have
Right.
those friendships. Like the camaraderie is
Right.
fucking there. They're ride or die because that's who you have. Obviously, there's shady motherfuckers everywhere you go. Then
Yep.
you know who to stay away from. That's just not your clique, you know.
Mhm.
But you spend a lot of time. So yes, you get admirers, you get friendships, you get, you know, a little cozy. There's rumors, there's always rumors, unless you saw something with your eyes, you're just
Right.
like, deny. I don't fucking know what you're talking about.
All right.
So I ain't no snitch, so I don't know what you're talking about right now.
That's what I'm talking about. Damn.
But you know, there's when they say there's fan rooms, when they say there's a chaplain.
I need to know something
that's not being used. I mean, somebody got the key to it.
That's what I wanted to ask. Like, where is the most fucking going on those boats? Like, where's the hideout area? Where there's, you know, I'm saying, like, for us, it'd be in the motor pool. Somebody left their motherfucking gun unlocked, their paladin. They're breaking that, but they're going up in that motherfucking beating guts. So that,
there's fan rooms, but I mean, you gotta be a little flexible for that. You know, those things are small.
Oh, I mean, because y'all motherfuckers
allegedly. So like, depending on your ship, right?
Yeah.
I mean, an aircraft carrier, if you want to get lost and don't want to be seen, I'm sure there's thousands of places you go hide and do your shit, you know, or do your thing. On an amphib, for example, there's a well deck. The well deck is where all those, you know, crafts park, and you know, it's just a wooden well deck. So it's just a big old garage, pretty much.
Wow.
And it's semi-dark in there. And then a small boy, I mean, I know I've heard of helo decks, I've heard of paint lockers, I've heard of like I said, chaplain stateroom. Chaplain doesn't stay there. Somebody got a key.
Wow. Right on. Hey, in other words,
creative.
I was about to say that. Adapt and overcome, right?
Exactly.
That's
I mean,
it's
only human. I mean, I get, you know, when it's consensual, you can't expect people not to want that intimacy, not to, you know, get together. You just can't. You spend your whole time with these people, and when you go to ports and have fun, and you're in a whole nother country that some people haven't even been in, these are the only people you have to count on. And you build that trust, you build that camaraderie, you build that family. So that's who you lean on for anything. If you have good friends, I was very lucky. I've always had really, really, really good group of people, really good friends that took care of me, even if I got too fucking drunk. You know, if I had to throw up, I took care of them. Okay, that's enough, let's go, you know. So sometimes they would call me Mama Mo, because I made sure, you know, some of my sailors that when I was supervisor of the watch, I'd be like, okay, did you guys get food? All right, let's take turns going to the vending machine, yada yada. So it's like, you have to take care of each other to be able to do your job, because they already work us to death, but you're not gonna die.
No,
but they do work too. So
and
it's like, you can't expect people not to want to feel. I know you don't like that word, but you gotta feel. You want that intimacy. I mean, shit, it's human nature.
Right. No, and but you know, to your point though, I mean, you have those people that you count on, you lean on, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you're getting intimate with all of them. You know, and you know, if they want to, they want to. That's on them. Hey, I'm a free. Do what you do, boo boo. You know, it don't affect my life. I don't give a fuck. But you know. But then there are those that, you know, you definitely know you want to hook up with. But then you have the assholes that are definitely creepers out there, you know, and you know who to stay away from. And that's awesome that, you know, you had a good group who you formed your bonds with, you know. And that's one thing that I don't find in the civilian sector since I got out, was those friendships like that, was those relationships like that, where, you know, especially in the environment where I work in, when I first started working there, in this office environment where people knew more about me than I knew about myself, you know, because I came straight out of the army, straight into that fucking place. And, you know, so I had a bald head, I was slimmer, a lot slimmer. And I still had that fucking demeanor of myself. I projected myself a certain way. So everybody thought that I was trying to say I was better than them. No, bitch, I just dressed for the job I wanted, not the one that I had, you know. And I was always taught to dress up, you know, professional. To me, business professional or business, or as a business professional, or
or business casual, business casual.
Business casual, yeah. To me, that's a shirt, tie, slacks, and some wingtips or some shit. Some church shoes, and that's how I showed up to work every day for about the first 2 years. And people had it in their head that I was trying to say that I was better than them. Like, nah, motherfucker, that's just what that is to me.
Yeah,
but
because
apparently,
you took pride in your job. I mean, not a lot of people know how to. That's how you show pride in what you do. My mom instilled that in me. She would get up early as shit to get ready, and she wasn't, she was a housekeeper. She cleaned hotel rooms, but she took pride in her job, and she got ready, like put on, not a ton of makeup, but she would get her eyebrows on, lip liner, mascara, some foundation stuff. Right. So for a while, like during high school, I'm like, for what? Who fucking cares? But then, once you grow up, you start being an asshole as a kid. You're like, no, you do. You take pride in your job and your appearance, and that's how you kind of show off that. Not show off, but that's how you show that you are proud of working.
You have pride in yourself.
Professional, yeah.
Yes. Let me ask you. Speaking, like, it sounds like your mom and had a big impact in your life, obviously.
Oh yeah.
How did your prior service life, like living with your mom growing up, how did that prepare you in any way for what you faced in the military?
Oh yeah. My mom was so strict. Like I always even to this day, I'm like, how I think, to my opinion and how I was raised a little bit differently than my brothers and sisters, because I think she knew I was going to be the one to make it out of all 8 of us, So she was always a little bit harder, a little bit stricter on me. But she was always time. That was one of the biggest things that she instilled in me. You got to be on time. And you know it, I know it. If you're on time, you're late. If you're early, you're on time. And that is whether we had a car, if we had to take the bus, if we had to, whatever, we always be on time. So she was always making sure that kind of like work ethic is what she instilled in me. She worked her ass off. She was a single mom. Time, that's how she took pride in her work, is showed up early because that was on time for her, and she always looked good and prepared and ready to go. And that's something that she always instilled in me growing up. I mean, that's just the way of life for us. Yeah.
Dude, I mean, it's funny you mentioned that as well. When I got out again, and I don't know how it affects you, like when you got into the civilian sector, but when I started working, I was always about 15 minutes early. 15 minutes early, and that would just be me. So basically I would show up to the parking lot. I'd be there about 25 minutes early in the parking lot because I'm going to smoke a fucking cigarette. That's going to happen. I'm going to smoke me a cigarette, and then I need time to just get myself ready, walk in. So about 10 minutes early, I'm sitting at my computer getting everything loaded up. Apparently that's a no-go. We're not supposed to do that. I'm not supposed to sit on my motherfucking chair and power up my motherfucking computer until the time is 8 o'clock in the morning. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting at my desk at 7:45. Like, can I start taking fucking calls now? You know what I mean? Can I get to work? And apparently that was a no-go. Couldn't do that. We can't do that anymore, I should say. So, but it's just not what I'm used to. You know what I mean? So eventually it got to the point where I was like, fuck, I guess. Luckily, it hasn't changed the way that I still think that I need to be there early. You know what I mean? We're always early to work, but never to a fucking party. What's up with Latinos on that shit? You know what I mean? Is that, I don't know, man.
That is so true. I'll be for appointments, work on time, early. But when it comes to any event that doesn't require work or an appointment, like a medical appointment or something, where like, oh shit, they're about like half hour late, or yeah. Except for I was always late for parties, for whatever, fucking bautizo. The little kid's not even here yet. What do you mean? I'm late. They're late.
Dude, as long as you brought beer to the bautismo, you're good. You know what I'm saying? So when it came time for you to, like, let's say you're going through your career in the military, we all come to that point where we decide, okay, am I going to re-up or I'm going to chuck deuces? You came to that point, and how or what led you to the decisions to go ahead and say, all right, I did my time, I'm hanging up my boots?
So I signed up for 4 years, and in my head, when I signed up for the military, I always thought I was going to do a full 20. No bullshit. I was like a lifer. I was going to do the full 20 and then retire, and then go on with my life and do something else, like still work. Retirement wouldn't be retirement, but whenever I extended my 4 years to finish out deployment, because I didn't want to leave people hanging, it's like I wanted to finish out a deployment. Fuck yeah. But my mom had, again, my family and my mom, she had a lot of medical issues. And it was, I wanted to be, even though she got max, I didn't go back to Arizona. I was still going to be at home. For example, she had a brain tumor while I was in the Navy, and they wouldn't approve my leave for her surgery because we were underway. We had to go. And I was a wreck. I'm not gonna lie, I was a total wreck. So, things like that start changing your perspective of like, oh, I want to, she did fine. She was great. She's perfectly fine. She's a champ. Like, she did it fine, but not being around for her medical condition stuff was just really hard for me. And then at that point, I kind of had, it was just like time to be normal and to be closer to my family, to be there for them when they needed me and that kind of thing. So that was pretty much well, I'm not gonna lie, me and my current husband, my husband, not my current, my only husband, my husband were, dating and talking, and like, well, one of us has to be the normal one.
Right.
Also, so that did kind of influence it a little bit. And he was going through some things and wanted to get custody of his daughters and needed a legal guardian for them here, because he retired at 30 years. He just retired last year. So my little 5 years over however many years he had at the time, we're like, all right, let's let you do you.
Right.
And then I'll get out. But I got out to be obviously there for my family and then his family. So it's like, it was a hard choice, because in my head, when I'm fucking stubborn. I'm fucking terca. Like, when I have something stuck in my head, that's it. That's all I want to do. But obviously, talking with my mom, it was mostly my mom, just because you just never know. And then she had to do another tumor surgery, which, I was able to be there for. And I was just like, she came out fine from that too. So that's why I'm like, you just never know when it comes to family, and it could go really fast. So.
Yeah, it takes its definitely, takes its toll, the shit that we do. We talk shit about, our sister branches, Navy, Coast Guard, but at the end of the day, we do all share the same hardships when it comes to like missing out on family events or, even family tragedies and shit. So I can definitely get that. I mean, when I missed my second child's birth, that fucking sucked. You know what I mean? And my wife ended up having our daughter by herself in the fucking hospital by herself, just her, the nurse, and the doctor. And that's lonely as fuck. I mean, and I was supposed to see it all happen live on Yahoo Messenger back then it was. But unfortunately, I went outside to go smoke a cigar and drink a near beer. I was in Afghanistan at the time. And, I told her, is it cool? She's like, yeah, I'm not dilated very much. You're good to go. I wasn't gone but 15 minutes. Come back in. She's on her way.
There she is.
I go and I fucking click back. I'm on my way, babe. And she's like, God, don't worry about it. She's already here. And starts sending me prayer, like, God damn. And then what sucked is her mom had just walked out to go buy them lunch. So she was literally by herself.
That shit takes a toll. Like,
it does.
Be there for them.
Especially, being as tight as you are with your mom. I can only imagine how heartbreaking that is. And then the technology not being what it is now, so you're just living day by day at whatever mail comes into you or email, you know what I'm saying? So, or a Red Cross fucking message, that's the last thing you want to have. So,
and it took a toll on her for me being gone, which, I never really like I was like, Mom, I'm fine. It's gonna be fine. I always knew it was gonna be fine. Like whenever we went underway, but for her, it really did take a toll. Like I don't want to sound her favorite, but she would always worry. And I think one time we actually lost comms on my last deployment, and I was not able to. We have a sailor phone, at least back then. I know now they have fucking FaceTime and everything else when HSS is up, but we had a fucking sailor phone that this whole entire ship had to share. But there was, I think, once when we couldn't get a connection. I think maybe it was like almost 2 weeks or 2.5 weeks, and she was just still hearing from me, every once in a while. Right. And she almost went to the Red Cross and, try to find my daughter. Like it really freaked her out. It's like, Mom, fine. We just didn't have connection. But she's, she's Mexican. She's a little Mexican old lady. She doesn't understand that stuff. So, it took a toll on her too.
It's so true that we don't think back, I guess, during that time. And it's not being that we're being selfish or anything like that. It's just that we don't put ourselves in their shoes of the heartaches. Now that I'm a parent, I start thinking of the day like, I can't wait to kick out my daughters, once they turn 18, they're out. But in the back of my head, I'm thinking, they're going to stay locked in that motherfucking room. You know what I'm saying? I want to keep dibs and tabs on my kids throughout their lives, So I can see how that stress, especially during a time of war, because all they see on the news, they don't say, this person was in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. Plus, even if they did, they're probably watching on Univision, which obviously fucking distorts everything. Al rojo vivo. And so they're not really getting the real message, even the fucking English news they're fake news anyways.
I'm about to say, don't get me started on the mainstream media fear mongering. Don't get me started.
No, dude, let's save it. We gotta save it. We gotta want to keep the people in. You know what I'm saying? No, but I mean, it does take its toll, and I'm really happy to hear that things are great, and that you have that great relationship with your family. That's awesome. So tell me about your transition out. You decided to finally get out then, and so did you decide to get out and stay where you're at now? I mean, we don't have to say where you're living at or anything like that, but did you decide to get out and stay where you're at now, or did you bounce around to a final location? Because you've been out for how long now?
So I've been out for 12 years now. It was 2010, so like 12 years almost, or 12 years now. It's a long time ago. It's like a whole other lifetime pretty much. But no, I stayed in San Diego. I mean, that's where home was then, and I found a school, to go to dental assisting school. Right. So and everything, and it was easy because it's a military town, so it was very easy to do everything. Use your GI Bill, find a school that'll accept it, yada yada yada. So it was just very easy just to stay where I was in San Diego and find a school and just get going. Like, go to dental assistant school, what's going to go to community college, and 2 years, fuck no, that's too long. I want to get started working now. Immediately. And then and then I went to an accelerator program, like a private college, I guess you could say, and it took like 9 months, and it was pretty damn easy. The one thing out of getting out of the Navy, at least the Navy, I really don't know what it's like for other branches, but because you have a bed, a home on the ship, because you make your rack your own little home. That's the only privacy you have in the whole fucking entire ship. So like, whenever the ship got underway for the very first time without me, and my friends were still in the Navy, I was roommates with one of my guy friends, Gio. He's awesome. He's out now, but like when they left, all of my friends were still on the ship, and they all left without me. That was very, very scary, kind of, and just weird, because if something ever were to happen to, let's say, your apartment caught on fire, or you had somewhere to go. There's people that actually lived on the ship because they were geo bachelors or whatever, right? So you always had a home somewhere to sleep that was safe. We would have a shower. So not having the ship there as a blanket or a backup or whatever, it was very, very weird. And especially because all my friends were still in. Right. And I had no family in San Diego. Everybody was in Arizona. All my other family was in LA, which it's not that far, but I'm like, damn, the traffic.
It's a 4-hour drive. Fuck all that. And you got to go through immigration in San Clemente. They're going to kick my ass back because I don't fit the...
Forget it. So it was like I was by myself. I didn't. All my friends were gone. My family was, where they were. So it was a very, very weird feeling not having that backup home, I guess you can say. So that was the one thing about getting out of first. And then, and I don't like to say, even though I only did 5 years, conforming to civilian life, it was an adjustment. Even just doing 5 years, it was an adjustment. Because like how me and you are talking, like you can't talk that kind of, you can't talk the way you cuss, shit, you know, whatever, talk shit, shoot the shit, whatever. You just can't do that in the civilian world. And it was a little bit of an adjustment. And at the time, I wasn't the most patient person. Right. I was I had maybe a little bit of anger issues, maybe got a little bit of drinking problems. Obviously, none of that affected me working, but you know, like when other people weren't raised the way that you were raised, they don't have the same, like, I'm a Nazi when it comes to time. When I was always early, I was always on time, I was always, you know, working my butt off because that's what I was there to do. I'm not here to fuck around. I'm here to work. And nobody was like that. Like there, you have some hard workers out there, but a lot of them are just like lollygagging. They're just, I'm like, come on, get the next patient back here, clean the fucking room, like think ahead, pre-stage, you know what I mean? Like it's just, it was very, very hard. And I got better with time.
Well, it's almost like you're readjusting to the civilian sector. And you know what's funny is you mentioned like the way that we speak to each other, that we're having this conversation, you know, we're dropping cuss words here and there. But the funny thing is, I haven't even paid attention to them. Like they're just like, it's part of our language. You know, dropping a fuck is like dropping a comma. You know what I'm saying? It's not that we're fucking dumb. It's not that we don't have a big fucking vocabulary. It's just that, you know, it's just part of the culture that we were in. And that's one thing I try to tell people, like the military, it's not just a fucking job. It's a culture. It's a lifestyle, you know, and whether you did 3, 5, 10, 20, you know, you acclimate yourself to that lifestyle. And when you're just, because I did 10 and then I got retired out medically. And so not by choice, trust me, not by choice. Because if it was up to me, I'd be getting to retire, ready to retire in 2 years. I'd be done. Nice. So that was up to me. But unfortunately, the big army said, a la verga. So, but anyways, you know, I've been out 7 years now and I'm still finding it. I call myself a veteran in the civilian world, you know, I'm just trying to adjust, you know, and I've had to learn different ways to adjust not my attitude per se, but my personality or the way I express myself, expressing myself. That's been a big challenge for me. That was a challenge for me at work. Like I had to climb through a lot of hurdles to be able to get where I'm at now. And with that though, the first couple of years, it was like it hit a depression porque I felt like I was hiding who I fucking was, like the real me. You know what I mean? So I have to put on this fake fucking smile and I have to be engaging and I have to be out there and, you know, talk to people. I guess, you know, minding your own fucking business and getting your job done, that is frowned upon because you're not being engaged.
Ain't that some shit? You're just trying to get your job done and then that's not even good enough.
Exactly. And that's what pissed me off. I was like, I'm getting my fucking work done. Leave me the fuck alone. I don't need to speak to anybody at this office. You know, okay, I know what my job is. I know what my expectations are. Leave me alone. You know what I mean? That's all you have to do. But and I thought that would help me advance as long as they were able to see me and I'm doing my work and my evaluations were all great. They didn't work out like that. I had to put myself in very uncomfortable positions. You know what I mean? And again, like it was like I got not reported per se, but I had talkings to because of the way I spoke. You know, some of them felt threatened. Others felt I was too aggressive. Others felt that, you know, I don't give a fuck how you feel. You know what I mean?
Cry me a fucking river, jerk me off, whatever. It's like when you're in the military, you're like, you're told what to do and you go fucking do it, no matter how it is that you're fucking told. You're not gonna die, you'll be fine, go fucking do it. All right, exactly. Roger that. And there's been times that I'm like, I don't like you, go up to the fucking bridge, I don't want to see your face. And guess what? You have to fucking do it.
Yeah, and it's all about how you present it. You know, it's all about, like, you know, there's gonna be times when you know, my soldiers thought I was bipolar a lot because I would dig in that ass. I mean, digging it. And it's like I was digging in it because out of just being an asshole. You have to get me to that point. You know what I mean? You don't do what I tell you to do first 2 fucking times. I'm going to fucking start yelling, screaming, cussing and whatever. But
There's
then
no
right
HR.
afterwards,
Like, no, there's no HR.
HR could go suck a fucking fat dick. You know what I mean? And what's funny, yeah, we have EO, right? That's our version of HR. We had the
oh,
equal opportunity. So,
sure.
and so fucking, and I was the EO leader. Go figure. And but here's the thing, like I would chew their asses out, I would also be there for them every step of the fucking way. I would chew their ass out, then I would take them out to go have a beer. Or you know what I'm saying? I would have a section party at the house. So it was just a different culture. It was a military culture and it was a military mindset. And that's what upsets me now. You've been out for some time now too. But what upset me as well is I watch the news and shit like that. And I see the social experiments that the military is becoming. And I see the fucking these, let's see if it works in this area. We have to do it for equality. Look, man, fuck your equality. All right. I believe in equal opportunity, but not equal outcome. It's not gonna fucking happen. But anyways, that's gonna diverge to a different podcast for another day. But anyway,
like, the whole point is like you have to be able to trust this motherfucker to save your life if they need to.
mm-hmm.
It comes down to, and if you can't fucking have my back while you're out there in the middle of thick of the shit, then you have no reason to be in here. Fuck your equality. If you can't shoot somebody because somebody's about to fucking kill me, then no reason for you to be there.
Oh, dude, don't even get me started with those fucking pussies nowadays. I'm gonna go to war, bitch. You signed up during the middle of war, bro. There was this pussy out in fucking Fort Hood that this motherfucker became a conscientious objector because his unit was about to deploy. Like, are you fucking serious, guy? You joined the motherfucking army. You signed a motherfucking contract. You decided you wanted to be part of this. So you are going to deploy. But all of a sudden, he's a conscientious objector. What the? You want all the benefits, but none of the fucking cost that may come with it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So if you
like in the military, you work hard, you play hard, and that's just what it was. Like that's you do. You work hard, you play hard. And now here, obviously, I've been out for a lot longer, but it's like it's not that. You know? Work hard, play hard. You gotta, I don't know, fiddle around the bush and cater to motherfuckers and shit, and just
it's like walking on eggshells. I mean, it's like fuck again. And I really hit that depression. Like, I mean, I hit it really hard, and I'm very open about that on here. You know what I'm saying? It got to me really bad. Like last year, it was really rough. I had hit because when you're in the military, your day is structured, right? And everything you do has some kind of production value. It's value added. And I felt internally that what I was doing was not leading to an end state. There was no end state to what I was doing. Like, when do I know I succeeded? You know what I mean? So it was like, fuck, man, it's like beating a dead fucking horse. That's how I felt, But again, luckily with the harder I work, the more opportunities I'm given and the more responsibility I get. And that's what I thrive on, is responsibility and, getting projects done. So, that's where I'm at in my life. So, and that's how I'm trying to adapt out here. Obviously, what did you take away from your time in the military that has helped you here in the civilian sector, and how have you adjusted to it?
Well, definitely like working, like having that work ethic, that punctuality, the ability to adjust. It amazes me how many people can or have a hard time adjusting to change. So I've always been a person that can't adjust to change. Shit, there's one time that in the middle of the night, my mom woke me. I was like, "Hey, we gotta move." We're like, "Fucking pack up our shit. We gotta move." So I've been able. So, I've been able to adjust. I can adjust really fast. I can work under pressure. I can't. So all of that just kind of like, unless shit's about to fucking hit me, I don't really feel that much pressure. So I'm good.
Yeah, dude, that's fucking awesome. I mean, it's great to hear, that
like, you take away a lot, and you do. There's a adapting point. There's things that you have to just take change and obviously like just use the good part of it and like and like still work hard, show people that camaraderie that you're there for them, you're there to help them and support them, but you still got to get the shit done and just put it in a nice way.
Yeah, exactly. You got to sugarcoat shit, unfortunately. And that's something I struggle with sometimes, because sometimes Staff Sergeant Lopez does come out, and I don't mean to, but it does. Pero I mean, it's just great, especially at work when I see another veteran. I try my best to get linked up with them so I can, in some way, I didn't know how long you had been out. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to make sure you had an easy transition coming in, because I had no idea how long you've been out. I didn't know that. All I know was you said you were military and, you were doing this. Now, so I reached out like, hey, let me make sure I get all hooked up that one right there so I could, help her out. And, because I believe that we have to look out for each other.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We are, though we never served together, we served in different branches. I still look at you as a sister in arms. You know what I mean? You're still somebody I will have your back in a fucking heartbeat, because we did what less than 1% of all America does. You know what I'm saying? We took that fucking oath. We did it, and it's something to be proud of. And I don't say it as to like we say sacar pecho, to fucking to gloat or anything like that. I say it because it's something I'm proud of. You know what I mean? And internally I'm proud of it, and I hope you are as well.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And I think it's so funny because I have, I have cousins now that have joined, but like my mom, I think for a while I wouldn't be embarrassed of it, but my mom would like really like, she had a little shrine in her house. I'm like a whole like little altar for me with my boot camp picture. And I'm like, Mom, I'm not dead. It's like, and now obviously I'm like, I'm right here, but like with velas and the Virgen.
I was gonna say that, dude. I mean? La Virgen right there on the side.
So it's like, and of course, like, oh, sí, la Mónica, sí, tiene fotos de Mónica, but it's like, now looking back, I'm like, of course she was proud of me. If when my son, those are his two fucking options. Like, either you're gonna go enlisted or go officer. You pick, unless you get a full ride somewhere.
For real. Ooh, good question. Now, good follow-up question. If you had to do it all over again, would you want to do an officer or an enlisted person? How would you do your time?
I still do the same thing I did. I still go enlisted, because you go from the ground up, and that's how you can relate. Like if I would have stayed in, then maybe I would have gone officer, like an officer program. But that's how you relate to your sailors or your soldiers or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like, because you started from where they were, from the ground, and you work your way up, and they respect you more for that and that kind of thing. So no, I wouldn't have changed it. I would have stayed exactly how I did it.
Right on. I mean, that was a good. I mean, I know I shit on officers a lot, and I shouldn't, but unfortunately, as a private, that's what was implemented in my fucking small p brain as a fucking dumbass private. You don't go to officers, you go to your sergeants, and they're the ones that take care of you. So, and not that I've ever had. Well, I've had some shitty fucking officers, but I've had some great leadership. I've really had some great leaders, great officers that I admire. And but I think that officers and non-commissioned officers, we have different roles, different lanes. Officers, to me, they plan, and NCOs, we execute it. So I don't know. I would definitely stay enlisted the whole time, on the gun line the whole time. I love firing cannons. There's no better smell than wolf pussy. I mean, that is the greatest smell ever. And that's a term that we use in the field artillery. All right. So it's not just a term that I just came up with. It's called wolf pussy. So wolf pussy is the smell of when you fire the cannon. You get the smell of cordite, the smell of the gunpowder, I guess you could say, you know. And it smells so good. So we call it wolf pussy. Yeah. So it's
I get it. It's the same smell of being out in the middle of the ocean, surrounded by nothing but water. You can't tell where the sky ends and the water starts. Like, that's one of my favorite smells. Like, I miss that sometimes.
Pause.
I love that water.
Pause. Adam, if you're listening to this, I'm stealing your shit right now. All right, bro. I'm sorry. I'm stealing this from you. So he does this thing where he does like the sensory, like the 5 senses, right? And but he relates it to your time in military. Like, for example, um, normally you would close your eyes and all that good shit, all that, kumbaya and shit. But like, you take it back, you use your senses: sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, and you relay it to an experience in the military. So for example, I know that he says he remembers being out there out at sea, and he sees like the water just like looking like glass. That's like
Yeah.
his sight, right? That's what he thinks about with his sight sensory. So if you can give me an example, like what do you get reminded of? Like if you're using your five senses, starting with your sight, what is one thing that comes to you when you think about your time in the military, your time in being on shore duty or on the real Navy?
So for me, it was definitely, for some reason, it was the water at night. Like at nighttime, whether there was a moon or not a moon, you couldn't tell where that fuck in the middle of the ocean, you couldn't tell where that sky ended and that water began. Like it was just black but beautiful. Like you were surrounded by water, the sky was there, and all those fucking stars, because there's no lights to blur them out or whatever. It was beautiful. It was just stars everywhere, and it was just very beautiful. And the smell of the ocean, just pure ocean, not that nasty marine bullshit that you have here sometimes, when it's low tide. It's
Yeah.
it's when you're actually out in the middle of the ocean, you get that ocean, sea, water smell. Like I will never forget that. When I do smell it, it takes me way back to a mid-watch. Like that's where, so for you guys in the gun line, whenever you would be in the mid-watch, sometimes you would have good officers. Like my husband, he was an officer. Well, he was enlisted and then went officer. And we were not dating at the time. So he would come in to combat. We really weren't. I swear to God, we were not dating at the time, but he would come in to combat in the middle of the night during mid-watch. And for some reason, I was always on mid-watch a little bit. And because I'm a night owl sometimes.
What a coincidence.
But he would tell us, that's where you would tell your sea stories and to keep us entertained, to keep us awake and shit like that, So I still remember all his dirty little secret stories, so it's all right. And then he knew all my dirty little secret stories too. So that's how you get those friendships started. And then everybody else there to keep each other awake and alert, you shoot the shit, you tell sea stories, you tell whatever happened at the last port and shit like that. You know what I mean?
That's
so
awesome. I mean, that's exactly what it sounds like when we're like, chilling out in our sections. We're chilling out under the net or behind the trails. Like we're done firing for the day. We're waiting for fire missions or whatever. We're just hanging out, and that's all you do is just chop it up, kind of like what we're doing right here. You know what I mean? Getting to know each other, and out of that's where the strongest bonds are formed. And that's awesome. So we just went through fucking sight and which
smell?
one's sight and smell together at one. So give me one for taste. Tell me what do you taste when you think of your old days, whether it be foods or
Filipino food, lumpia and
yes. Oh my God.
pancit.
Why does that come into mind? What's the story behind that?
So not stereotyping, but a lot of Filipinos worked the kitchen. They were the CFs, and the CFs. Oh shit, I can't remember. Anyways, they were the cooks. A lot of the Filipinos were back there, and so that's sometimes in the mid-watch they have something called when they would put out meals for the people in the late watches, and it would just be stupid simple stuff sometimes, but every once in a while inspiration was to hit them, and they would put out and pancit and things like that. So definitely Filipino food, because that was the first time I've ever tried Filipino food while I was in the Navy. And actually, for a little bit, I started learning Tagalog because there were so many Filipinos in at least on that side of the Navy in San Diego. So it's like a Spanish or Latin based, just like French and Spanish and shit like that. But for some reason, it's pancit and fucking lumpia. I don't know why, but yeah.
That's awesome. All right, so we got sight. Now we got fucking taste. We got fucking sight, taste, and smell.
Smell.
Okay, so sound. right?
The waves, absolutely. The waves, those waves, whether it's 9 foot seas or just smooth sailing, it's those waves are fucking beautiful. Like the there's no that sound is awesome no matter how crazy it is, and you're like fucking tossing and
I
turning on
wanted to
the
ask you
boat.
about that. Now that you brought that up about waves, tell me about were there any incidents where you were like, for example, again, I'm ignorant when it comes to the fucking Navy, obviously. All right. The only thing I know about the Navy is the village people. All right. That's all I know. So fucking um like did y'all ever hit any of those fucking rough seas where the motherfucking boat's going up and then slams back
Hell
down
yeah,
and
yeah.
it's all over the
At one point,
place?
it damaged our sonar dome. Like it was that fucking rough. It was like secure for sea, secure for sea. You gotta make sure everything's fucking tied down. Everything just fucking falls on your ass. And, and it's like secure for sea, secure for sea. Literally, where you'll almost be walking, like it'll tilt so much sometimes, depending on which way you're going. But you
Right.
would only walk on the side of the like the bulkhead. You will almost be walking.
Holy
You know what I mean?
shit.
Like you're like walking like this or whatever because you're just
Right.
trying to do your your watch station.
You're bust your ass doing that?
No, you know what? There's only been one time ever that I got seasick and actually had to leave because I had to throw up, even though people say it was because I was hungover, maybe a little bit, but it did not help that we went out to rough seas after that. But besides me being hungover and rough seas, literally, like, and this is something like, I told like when I was in the Navy, like I would, I had a drinking problem, absolutely. I lived in a drunken hangover haze a lot of the times, but that's just, I mean, I don't want to say part of the culture, but obviously that also came with my upbringing because I was started drinking from a very young age and shit. But it's like, yeah, don't, everybody does it. Don't. I don't recommend going out to sea hungover the next day. Man, that shit fucking sucks.
See, trust me, it is part of the culture. It really is. Look, part of the military culture is going to be alcohol. It's going to be fucking, and tattoos. That's just part of our culture. All right. That's just automatic. That's standard fucking data. So, because I'm thinking about like if I would have been in the Navy, I don't know if they sell alcohol on these boats, but believe me when I say I would have been selling alcohol on that motherfucker because I know I would have been sneaking some bottles in there.
Yeah,
and each shot's gonna cost about $10. Huh?
There was this one time, see story here. So we went into this little on my last deployment, we pulled into this little island off of Guam and shit called Pago Pago. We needed to refuel, and they had one bar there. We were only there overnight. We moored in, we put in, moored, and then we were able to go on liberty. Obviously, unless you had watch. I had watch. I didn't get to go. I had duty. But they drunk that one bar dry in that whatever that one night that we were there. Like you've never seen so many drunk ass fucking and officers and enlisted coming on that boat. It was hilarious. Nice. Like to you would actually have to help them up the brow onto the ship. Like there was this one officer that's like over 6 foot, and can you imagine being that tall on a fucking ship? You hit your head on that fucking everything. Right. So that was like, yeah, drinking was definitely, yeah, how Dude. You relieve that stress of being underway for so long.
Right. So I'm sure there were people that snuck shit on there though.
I'm sure. Like I said, I had a really good group of friends, so we were always like, I wouldn't say goody two shoot because there was definitely way like lamer people there, but I personally I was too like, I didn't want to get that bad rap, so I never personally or knew anyone personally that snuck shit in, but they did, but they wouldn't keep it in their racks because every once in a while you get inspected, so they knew where to fucking hide it. So I never got drunk underway, so.
Yeah, we were a bunch of fucking alcoholics. That's what FA stands for. It's not field artillery, it's fucking alcoholics. And so with that, I got in trouble while we were in Iraq the first time, back in 05, 06. I got fuckered up, yo, and I got busted. And so I got Article 15 or whatever the fuck y'all call that, NJP or whatever it is. I had to go see the man. Basically, what I'm saying.
Oh, yes,
So,
captain's mass is what we call it.
all right, so yeah, I caught a case, and it's Article 15. It's all gravy. But what I'm saying is, I'm thinking like even out in the field, and now that I'm out, I'll go ahead and say this. But oh yeah, you know, we take some drinky drink with us out there. So I mean, it's the standard data. It came along with it, especially when we're out there for 3 weeks. Yeah, we're gonna have ourselves some kind of drink. So,
Yeah.
anyways, but dude, that's fucking badass. So now we did sight, sound, smell. Did we do smell?
Yeah.
Smell.
Yeah.
Which one else did we? Have we done 3 or 4? See, I suck at this shit. Adam knows how to drive this shit really good.
So
right. We said sight.
I think it's just touch that we're missing. We're missing touch.
All right, so
fuck, man. You know what? And everybody's gonna shame me for this, but that what is it? For touch, it's just the ship itself. I mean, it's made of steel. That shit hurt. I remember when I went back onto the ship after being gone for a while, I'm like, God damn, how I used to be like going up and down the ladders.
Yeah.
That I don't even know how I used to be able to go up and down so fucking fast. I was like, good Lord. And that shit hurts your joints. I'm like, good Lord, no, a lot of you have like horrible knees and ankles and feet problems, back problems. It's like all those ladders and hatches and shit. It's like it's steel is the touch, because everything's made out of steel. Everything is hard.
Right.
Ain't nothing cozy about it, that's for sure.
So let me ask you a very stereotypical question. It'd be more stereotypical if you were black, but can you swim before the Navy? Before the Navy, were you able to swim?
Before the Navy, no. Well, basic swimming, not like deep shit. Like, no, you have to pass a swim test when you're in boot camp, and you have to fucking tread water for like 5 minutes or some stupid shit like that. And I could swim, but treading water was horrible for me. And when I was in the deep end, I would just sink to the fucking bottom. But when I was in the shallow end, I could tread all day. So but when I got I actually did get to do a swim call and jump into the middle of the fucking ocean, came back up, and I was perfectly fine.
See, I cannot tread water with the shit. I can't float. I could doggy paddle and I could do a dead man float. I could do that. But like float on my back, nah, I can't float with the shit, bro. You could throw me in the Dead Sea and I still would fucking sink somehow or another. I cannot float with the shit. I can swim. If I keep moving, I'll be all right. You know what I'm saying? But
treading, there's no way I'll survive treading.
Dude, you're like constantly kicking your legs, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Your legs, your arms, like just let me drown at that point.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, fuck that. Just let me be shark bait. I'll be all right.
Somebody has to take the bullet.
For reals, dude. It's a trip. Like, one thing I was saying, like with the traditions that y'all have in the Navy, they're fucking awesome. I love them. Do you have any naval tattoos that you can share? Let me rephrase that.
Actually, no, I don't have any Navy tattoos. I got tattoos while I was in Navy, but never any like, okay, maybe one. I lied. So like me and one of my friends that I was on the ship with, we're still really good friends now. We got these little, the old school ship's wheels. There's an actual name for them that I can't fucking remember right now. I'm sorry, but
bad sailor.
Horrible. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Other than that, no, I don't have any actual Navy tattoos on.
Any traditions from the Navy that that you were like, oh, these are badass, like that stick with you today, like that just blow your mind? Mm-hmm.
Obviously, like still to this day, having this look flag to come on and get off the ship, that's still that's super cool to me. And people complain about it. I complain about it at some point, but but it's pretty cool looking back. When you're underway, you have smoke. You could smoke, and then there will be like cigar nights, like having a good cigar on the brow or on the back on the helo deck or whatever. So like things like that they'll still keep alive. That's awesome to me.
Right on, dude.
And they
Now,
have a bunch of other ones, like, chiefs initiation and shit like that. But I don't, it's more about like whenever they would have cookouts, and when they did things for the average sailor to make them feel a little bit better, or more like, okay, you're fine, you're gonna be all right.
yeah.
Oh, you know what? I lied. There is one. It's crossing the line when you become a polywog into, you become an actual shellback. So it's whenever you get to go across the equator. They still do this. Obviously, it's been babied down even from when I did it. There used to be a lot of hazing and shit like that from all the shellbacks. Meaning, they dress up like pirates, and then when you're about to pass the equator, you go through kind of like initiation, like little trials and tribulations, and like little obstacle courses that they put together for you on ship to get to the end of the obstacle course, and then to become a shellback or a pirate. So like here in I live in Tampa, but they have Gasparilla, and everybody would always during that time where it's like pirate parade or festival. Oh, you're gonna go to Gasparilla, blah blah. And I'm like, oh, I'm a real life pirate. I have the certificate for everything, so I'm good.
Dude,
but
see,
they still do that on the ships, that you go past that equator and you get your show back, and that's a huge ceremony. It's really awesome. It's really
cool. See, like that's the type of shit that it like rites of passage type deal.
Yes. Yep.
So I think that's fucking awesome. Dude, I think it's great. Now, it's been really great talking about your military career, pre, during, and post. But now I'd like to switch it up just for a little bit, to get to know the other side of like, who is civilian Monica? Like,
Shit. She's gone through so many transformations. Like it's crazy. It's like I said, that feels like a whole nother lifetime to me right now, because right now who I am now is not, it's still a little bit a part of me. Obviously it's still part of me, but not who I am now. I don't drink every fucking day. I don't open up a fucking Corona at 8:00 in the morning anymore. You know what I mean? It's like, so you evolve as time goes on, because you grow, you heal some of your traumas and shit like that. You deal with your internal stuff. So it's like who I am now definitely is a little bit the same, but different of who I was then.
Okay. Do you think the military shaped that in any way, shape, or form? Like, in other words, like, how can I put this? I'm guessing that, at your age, which I have no idea how old you are, but at your age, you're probably experienced a lot more than anybody in the civilian side that's your age. You know what I mean? You'll have a lot more in common with somebody that's older and or prior service. You know what I mean? Like, so
definitely have like growing up the way me and you grew up, you grow up fast. Honestly, we grew up fast. Not that we didn't have a childhood, and there's other lives out there that are like harsher and worse than some of other people's lives, but we grew up fast because that's what we have to do. I've been working since I was 13, so it's like a lot of the shit that I grew up with, I installed into military life, and now that I got out, it's like kind of just it resonates with me, and it shapes me who I am now as far as ethics and beliefs and traditions and things like that. So it has, but it's definitely not just Mexicans. I know there's other people out there that grow up fast, but definitely consider myself an old soul, just because I have seen shit not in, growing up. I've been shot at. I've been, I used to think I was a good kid until I grew up. And then I'm like, damn, I only thought I was a good kid because I never got caught.
Right.
So I definitely consider myself having a whole lot of life experience compared to some other people. And getting to travel, obviously, it lets you see other cultures and other parts of the world that a lot of people don't get to see, whether it's good or bad, but you get to experience it. So definitely matures you. It definitely makes you definitely see the world in different views, and you can see it in different views of anyone really, because you get to interact with all these cultures. I definitely would say I'm 35, by the way, a young 35. I actually do look better now than I did back then because of that fucking lifestyle. No bullshit. Like if I at 21 when I was in the Navy, I swear I look way older than I do now.
Word.
So
Dude,
it's crazy.
something I'd like to touch on. So did you have any preconceived ideas or any okay, so for example, I'm gonna use myself as an example. All right. I grew up in South Central LA, nothing but blacks, nothing but Mexicans. I got shit on by the motherfucking Mexicans too, because I'm not Mexican. I'm Salvadoran / Nicaraguense. So I'm Central American, right? I didn't know this until I was about 12 years old because I grew up with nothing but Mexicans around me and blacks. So what do the blacks call us? We're all fucking Mexican, right? Lo and behold, when my other Mexican friends find out I'm Mexican, I'm getting shit on for being a cerote. You know what I'm saying? But that's all great, baby. I love it. But here's the thing: that's all I knew. So I had this preconceived idea that anybody who was not my skin tone or darker had an easy life. All right. So because that's what I saw reflected on TV, right? I grew up watching Tim the Toolman Taylor and their family, and I know 210 and all this good shit. So all those folks to me were like, "Wow, fucking white people is rich, yo." Me, I thought all white people were rich and all white people never had a hardship. That's all I knew. All right. Again, very small fucking area where I lived at, never went out of it. So joining the military, I'll say, exposed me to different cultures and different just different dude. Yes, like, first of all, shit kicker music, country music, never was a fan. Now I fucking love it. Rock music, not my shit. I grew up on NWA, Boys in the Hood type shit, Too Short. I'll go way back. But anyways, that's what I grew up on. Now, I'm all about Sabbath. I'm all about fucking Metallica. I'm all about fucking AC/DC because I was exposed to it when I joined. You know what I mean? So were there any eye-opening moments for you, either culturally or just like, fuck, there's more to the world than just my neck of the woods in Arizona?
I was actually, no, well, not really, except for the only, and I don't want to sound really weird, or the only time it was Middle Eastern, because you get those Middle Eastern briefings, like you can't do this, you can't do that when you're in the Middle East.
Right.
That was the only one that I was like, really? What the fuck? Like, I can show my shoulders. What are you talking about? It's fucking not. So things like that. But the reason why I joined the military, so first of all, growing up, my family's like, "Oh, you're such a white girl," because I didn't appreciate my Mexican culture until actually I was like a junior in high school, or almost a sophomore / junior in high school. I would listen to alternative music, rock music, like, not that I wanted to be white, but that's just what I liked more. Yeah, I was Mexican, so it's like I was, I'm Mexican, but I liked listen. I don't know why at the time that's what I liked. I liked that music. And then when I got to appreciate my culture more while I was in high school, like around my sophomore, junior year. So then I started listening to the chunti music and started speaking more Spanish, you know what I mean? So it's like, yeah. So when I got into the military, I wanted, and watching shows, like I would watch TV. That's how I would kind of look into all these other people's realities. And you're right. Oh shit. Tell me why this shit's about to die. Oh God. Okay. It's at 5%, but let me see if I can find a charger somewhere around.
No, don't worry about it. We're cool because we're gonna have to we're gonna wrap this up here soon. So you're good. Because we're gonna have to have a part 2.
Okay, definitely. I wanted to experience all those other cultures, all those other, beliefs and experiences and things like that. So nothing really shocked me except for, like I said, that Middle East part that I'm just like, I guess it's not the most popular of areas, so you don't hear about it a whole lot. So I didn't really, and I was very lucky to live in a diverse area and go to diverse schools where I was, able to relate to other people. So
see,
not a whole lot.
Where I grew up, you would have been considered a white-sicken or whitewashed because you listened to that. Yeah. That's what they would have considered you. That's what I'm considered now. I'm a sellout, by the way. I'm a fucking sellout because of my certain political beliefs. But like,
I'll talk to my mom in Spanish and they're like, "Oh, no, I don't know your slang of Mexican. I don't call you marrana. Like, I don't talk like you guys do in Spanish. I try to talk nicely to my mom in Spanish
Right.
and the rest of my family. Not like you guys going crazy out there with your crazy words.
Hey, look, us cerotes, we say cerote all the time for some reason, that's why we're called cerotes. God damn, my boy Kowalczyk, he's a white boy, and that's my brother from another mother. I love that motherfucker like this, he's actually my oldest daughter's godparent, and he's the last name alone, Kowalczyk, big ass dumb Polak, and white boy from Chicago. And I mean, he's the one that got me to listen to other type of shit. He's from he came from a different subculture, kind of like in the subculture that I was involved in when I was younger, but slanted. But it's just great being able to know that there was more than just the borders around my neighborhood. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's when I learned about shit. There's people that are trailer trash. There's fucking, there's different type of white folk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have your uppity ass white people, then you have your Karens, then you have your fucking trailer trash that are fucking wow meth heads. You know what I'm saying? So it's just crazy that they're all in the same, but I didn't see beyond that. You know what I mean? To me, that never existed. So it was an eye-opening experience for me. So, I mean, that's the one thing I thought of, like, like being exposed into the military was shit that I was not aware there was out there. So
yeah,
that's cool though. I mean, I think honestly, it was a great experience. If
oh
anything.
yeah, I
And
wouldn't trade for the world ever.
nothing, and nothing ever. And with that, I do want to thank you.
Thank
do
you.
want to thank you for coming. And I'm not trying to cut it early. It's just that dinner's ready. And
Yeah.
honestly, we're doing a part 2 if you're
For
cool with
sure.
that.
Yeah.
Because I want to dive more into like I said, I've been fucking stalking your socials. And I mean, I don't know how
My
deep
brujeria, my
yes. Now I don't know how deep
yeah.
I don't know how deep your stuff is really into that or not, but I'm definitely interested and curious about it. Like,
Yeah,
how did you get involved
absolutely.
into that? How'd you get introduced into that? If you wouldn't mind giving me an idea.
So I call myself a bruja because of my mom. My mom's more of a natural healer and an herbalist kind of. And but my aunts, some of my uncles and cousins were called her a bruja. And to me, like, that would piss me off. So I'm like, no, bitch, she's just trying to heal your ass without taking all these drugs. So so I was always into natural remedies, and my mom's like, tómate esto, tómate el otro, y este té, y póntame esto. And okay, mom. So like I kind of just took that on and expanded on it, and then just kind of found my own way into it and fell into some fucking rabbit holes. I did not start off all light and love. It did start a little bit darker stuff like deep state, and you could call it conspiracy theories if you want. I don't care.
Example, like what? No. I mean, I'm interested in this shit. This is the stuff that, like, it piques my fucking mind, like my brain. So
how there's a select elite few that are running the country, that are manipulating the mass media, to fear mongrel, to keep fear is one of the lowest vibrating frequencies there is. So that's why you only see bad shit on the news. And I never used to like watching the news, and I would always say, for what? There's nothing ever good on there, and they do that intentionally. Once in a while I'll throw some stupid shit cute in there, but nothing. They manipulate. And once you start learning how the news and what it gets put out there, and once you start learning who owns all these companies, it comes down to a very select few. Like, I can, not even a handful, own, like maybe like the same, like Disney owns Comcast and owns all these news stations, and you know what I mean? So if they have an agenda and they want to manipulate it, and they tell their reporters what to say, what not to say, you know what I mean, to keep people in control, to keep their vibes low, because that's how you can control and manipulate people, by keeping them in fear. But anyways, that's how my journey started.
dude, because like this shit right here, I'm telling you, it's to me, they call it conspiracy theory or whatever. I believe in some of this shit, a lot of this shit, because.
And what really, really got me, and why I really started doing it hard and heavy and trying to raise the collective's vibration or frequency, is for all of us obviously to live in a better world. One. Two is when I started learning more about the and I hate talking about it, but I know it has to be out there, because without there is no light without darkness. It's the human trafficking, and not just women, not just children, not just women, not just men, but children. And that's, people used to get up in arms about closing the borders. It has something to do about being fucking racist. People, we want to shut down these borders so people don't get trafficked. You get more human trafficking than drug trafficking. Like, no shit. That's where they make so much money. It's human trafficking. I'm like, where did all these kids go that were, in Texas, where the reporters weren't allowed to go in? You know what I mean? So, like, where did all these kids go? There's no way you were able to keep track of where their parents actually went when they separated them from their parents. No fucking way. I'm like, how? And even if somebody did come forward and say, I'm their parents, where's the documentation? Where is it? How do you know that's really their parent? Where did all these kids, how do you know they went to the right person? You know what I mean? So it's like, that's what like really ignited the fire in me and journeying into my spirituality and trying to maybe, bring up the vibration, because we can't let these people do that shit anymore. And it's reality, but people don't see it because people are close-minded to it. They don't want to see it. And like I said, you don't have light without darkness. And that's the darkness that we're trying to fight against. And yeah.
No, dude, I mean, I dig it. Like right now, you've piqued my interest. I mean, I love hearing about this. But I also dig, like, I see a lot of you, again, I'm a stalker, not a creeper. I'm a stalker, because I like to do my research. But I see that you're like into positivity.
Yes. Oh, sorry. Let me grab my charger.
No, you're good. Oh, it's already dying?
Yeah, it's like a 5%. It's all right. I got it.
Oh, damn. My bad.
No, you're good. I think that's what's going to fit there.
But yeah, I mean, I dig like, the whole positivity thing, like, positive vibes and, throwing it out to the fucking world and trying to make the fucking a better place. You know what I mean?
I mean, we forget. And again, this is more once you start getting into the spirituality part of things, I believe in reincarnation. I know I've been reincarnated on this earth at least like 11 times. This is my 11th reincarnation on earth. And you forget who your soul was, because it's your soul. It's not obviously not this fucking meat bag, not this physical body, but my soul itself is what keeps getting reincarnated. And you forget when you come into this dense world who you were and how fucking powerful you can be and how connected you are, not only to source, God, the universe, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Everybody's spirituality journey or healing journey is individualized. Everyone's is different. Everybody signs up for their own soul lessons and things like that. So it's like you have to achieve those higher vibrations and remember who the fuck you are and get unprogrammed. That's the thing, is getting unprogrammed. And like for guys, you guys are programmed as fuck. I think it's more because you guys are more anchored to the density of the earth and this reality 3D. And women, we bring life into this planet. Like that's how souls get here, is through women's bodies. So we're literally portals for other souls to get here. So therefore we are, a little bit more spiritually connected through our divine femininity. And we forget who we are when we get here, because this dense reality, 3D world is what we call it, third density 3D, whatever you want to call it, is so programmed and controlled through the mass media, fear mongering, and just belief from your family, or just like even family. I don't like calling them family curses. I call them like family habits or something to that effect. I can't remember what I call it now, but breaking those family habits, breaking those family curses, generational curses. Like, my family is, like my parent, like my dad's an alcoholic. He chose alcohol and drugs versus his family. That's why his ass got deported and got his green card taken away. Bye. You're not gonna follow the rules and get the fuck out of here. That's your problem. I come from a long generation of alcoholics and drinkers, and I didn't want to stay in that same cycle, family and generational cycles. And you break them, and that's how you kind of can free your mind. And it's all consciousness. It's physically, but it's all really mental, and it's how you break out of it and be able to start seeing your own reality and creating your own reality. Like I truly do think, like I can say I go back and forth between 3D and 5D, because there's times that I'm like, what are you talking about? Oh, that's just still going on, like COVID. You know what I mean? It's like that's when everything started kind of like feeling like this isn't right. This isn't normal. There's something wrong with this, you know? And it's like you don't need to lock people down for. And I know there's people that died, and I know people are gonna get mad and shit like that. But it's like it's been 2 years, people. 2 years.
Dude, I'm gonna
How do
have to
you
pause.
not like think about this? Like this is just not right.
Let's pause right there.
Yeah.
Because I want to get deeper into this on the
Oh,
next
it
time you
gets
come
deep.
down.
I get down some rabbit holes.
Dude, and I'm already following you behind that fucking rabbit hole, into that rabbit hole. So here's the thing. I'd like to get you back on here. We'll talk about it once we get this done and wrap it up because, dude, I'm already fucking like sold. I'm telling you, I want to get the military part out of it because, you know, I want people to get to know you, you know, and from there we can shoot the shit, chop it up,
Yeah.
like, you know, because okay, they want to know about your military portion, we can go back there. But now, you know, we get to know Monica and how she was shaped, how she is now, and how,
Yeah.
you know, and
And
now
that's
we
the
get to
thing, like
shoot the shit.
people don't know about me. It's like I'm not a hippy dippy type of person. I mean, I grew up in a real reality, a harsh reality, being poor, coming from nothing, seeing some shit, got shot at, you know what I mean? Things like that. So I'm not this, and I don't talk about anything that I haven't experienced myself, I haven't researched myself, and I haven't seen as far as, you know, like when you want to talk about like ancestors and spirits and, you know, going to other planets.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't
oh my God, you fucking peak. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna have to wrap this up because if not, we're gonna go on for another 2 fucking hours. Okay. And I know she told me she could still keep going. I know, but y'all, you're gonna have to tune in next time when we have Monica come chill out here on the gun line and break down these dimensions, break down the reincarnations, because I'm really been interested in this for a long fucking time. I really have. I just am lazy to do research because back in the days we used to have libraries where we could actually go and read shit, right? And read up on it. But now we're lazy and we have Google and we have everything on the interwebs, but not everything on the interwebs is real. You know what I'm saying? Anybody can Wikipedia shit. So I want to get somebody that's and you know, I've been wanting somebody like you, and things don't happen by coincidence. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely not.
This happened for a reason, you know, and I'm very, very happy to have had you here today. I know you also, I don't know if you talk about this or not, but you also have a merch store, right?
I do. I have an Etsy shop.
Would you like to talk about that a bit?
So the Etsy shop, I like I said, I like to share. I just want people to have those high vibrating crystals and herbs, and I do put in a lot of research. And I'm not saying a lot of people do this or some people do this, but it's like I don't just throw some shit together in a candle. You know, I want these candles to actually help people, whether it's for self-love, protection, energy, protect your fucking energy. I'm a huge protector, obviously. Like I am a Nazi when it comes to protection of my energy in my auric field. Just because you just don't know who has what working for them in the spiritual realm, you know what I mean? So it's like that's your energy. You work for it. You work hard for it. You work hard for your energy, your healing. You work hard for all of it. Your abundance. It's like, you know, I want everybody to have the reality they want to have, whether abundance to you means money, whether it means mental health abundance, you know, whatever it is. So it's not just money, but of course that's an evil necessary sometimes, but it's just, you know, I do research everything and I want you to create the reality that you want to create, that you have the birthright to create. Just people programmed it out of you, whether it's family members, the media, whatever it was. Somebody told you and gave you limits and you believed them. You don't have limits if you don't want to have them. You know what I mean? But you do have to put some work in. Let me tell you, you have to put some work in. It's not just going to poof appear just like that. Not yet, anyway. But
what's the name of your Etsy so people can look it up?
It's Sun Luna Co. And it's, you know, crystal candles, crystal bracelets, because I like wearing crystal bracelets just because it's easy. Yeah. It's very easy just to wear them, to get those vibes or the protection or whatever you want to get out of them. Each one has their own properties, obviously. So it is my Instagram at Sun Luna Co, and then the Etsy shop is Sun Luna Co as well.
So y'all make sure y'all go out there, check out Sun Luna, Luna Co, CO. Yep. So sun, like the motherfucking sun, all right?
Yep.
Not S-O-N, but S-U-N. Luna, as in the Spanish word for moon. And then co, as in company, all right? So Sun Luna Co. Y'all make sure y'all go check it out, y'all. I got some shit that's on its way, and because I need the positive vibes, I dig it. And again, all of this happens for a reason. Our universes not collide out of just coincidence, But we'll talk about that here afterwards. And y'all, I want y'all to go ahead and fucking follow her on the Tickety Talks. With Sun Luna
Instagrams, yeah, Instagram.
Oh, I'm sorry, Instagram.
I can't keep up with too many social medias.
Bro, I have it all just under one website now, which is on the gunline.com, and in there it has whatever I have. Because if I'm gonna go here, I get lost, So, but with that being said, I'm gonna do the outro and we'll talk after, right? So, anyways, Gunline, I appreciate y'all listening to this podcast. I hope y'all enjoyed it as much as I loved recording it. I'm about to get done with this right now, and dude, the next time she comes on, we are gonna talk fucking deep shit because I'm gonna go down that rabbit hole with her. We're gonna be following Bugs Bunny on that motherfucker, end up in Albuquerque. All right.
Anyway, that white
rabbit. All right. With that being said, thank you again here, Monica, for being here with us and being on the gun line. And with that said, y'all, I'll catch you on the midweek memo next week. Hopefully, I'll have the crew back again with fucking Hunt and Urena. If not, shit, we might fuck around and have Monica over here and come on down and be a co-host. So bring some positive vibe and some witchiness. With that being said, y'all have a great fucking weekend. Rounds complete. End of mission. Gun line out. Bye, motherfuckers.